This is a disaster for the Bengals. A new injury report comes out that Shemar Stewart looks to be missing some time per Zach Taylor. We're going to break down the report, what it means for this Sunday in a crucial must-win game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Welcome to the jungle. This is Isaac Coffman with Bengals Digest. Happy to see you, Bengals fans. And if you want to get in on the discussion, make sure you are subscribed by hitting that subscribe button down below. We appreciate your support. It's been awesome hearing from different fans and their viewpoints. There's a lot been going on this season with Joe Burrow possibly coming back soon. You have Joe Flacco filling in nicely in the meantime. There's different things going on. Don't miss out. Be sure you're subscribed so you'll see when our new videos drop. Well, the newest report is not good news. It is concerning Shemar Stewart. Reports have come out that he is looking to be possibly out for several weeks, and that's not the news you want to hear. Now, given Shemar Stewart has had his struggles this year, he has looked lost at times, definitely looking like a rookie out there running one way when the ball carrier is going the other way. But you need this guy. You need Shemar Stewart to step up and get past those growing pains and bring something, because so far the guys that have been stepping up outside of him have not cut it. And you have Trey Hendrickson, sure, but he's been dealing with a hip injury. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the injury report. But they need this guy. They need Stewart to be that guy. He is a first-round pick, and sure, there was a lot of drama coming out about his contract talks, about possibly sitting out. That got resolved. So he was already starting out with a lot of talk, a lot of drama, so to say, coming out, but it's more of the production on the field. He's got the talent. He's got the physical ability if he can just mentally put it together. And it's interesting how nobody else is really stepping up. So this is just a complete disaster when you're talking about Hendrickson being out with that hip injury. That was my concern when it first happened with hip injuries. You just never know. It could be something you are able to move on from, but other times it could be lingering. So far, it looks like Hendrickson is dealing with that, and it's a lingering injury. Not good news. It's just a disaster all the way around. This is a crucial game coming up against the Steelers, and you got to feel like this is kind of a crossroads for the Bengals. Are they going to be able to pull off a win? As much as on paper, it's not something that they can go out there and say, yeah, we're going to win this game like they did with the Jets and Bears. You lose to a winless team in the New York Jets, and there's not that much confidence there. There's not much from the fan base, certainly. That's what we're hearing. So Zach Taylor has his work cut out for him as is, but now you're talking two potential pass rushers, at least a for sure, in Trey Hendrickson. But Shemar Stewart, who has the ability, he looks to be out for an extended period of time. It's just not good news. Not good news all the way around. The report coming out here recently, it was showing that Joe Burrow, that's the positive that's been coming out. He actually practiced. Joe Flacco was limited, so that shoulder is also still bothering him, and that's possible concern too. That could be a disaster if you're talking Flacco missing time. Even with Joe Burrow coming back, he was talking about more later in the month of November. That's probably the time frame that you will see Joe Burrow at the earliest returning. And Trey Hendrickson popping up on that. He did not participate this week in practice. Samaje Perine was another person that was just interesting with an ankle injury, something to keep an eye on. But the big one is going to be Trey Hendrickson and Shemar Stewart. Pittsburgh Steelers, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to apply pressure. This defense has been struggling. It is actually that's no secret. Going through the stats, they are allowing 25.5 points per game. That's not good. You got 25.5 points per game. Even with that offense that's scoring so many points, on average, if your defense is giving up that many points, it's just not good. It's not good all the way around. They are at 426.6 yards given up per game, total yards. That is for 32nd, last in the league. And then you have for rushing yards, 166.4. That's also last in the league. 166 yards rushing. That's just evidence of how bad this defense is doing. It's tough. It's really tough. Going back to Shemar Stewart, they need him. They absolutely need him to step up. Now, Al Golden has come out and said that he's still in that infant stage. I think that goes without saying, again, with the struggles that Shemar Stewart has been showing on the field. But that's kind of what they thought when they took him in the first round. I think they knew he was going to be kind of this project. They knew that he was going to have his lumps that he was going to have to get through. But it's still frustrating. It's frustrating how we look back at the last few weeks. If they could have won at least one game, the Jets and the Bears game, just won one, you're talking a much different scenario right now. If a win against Pittsburgh, you're right there in the division. And they certainly still are if they win on Sunday. It's not to say that they're going to win the division if they win Sunday. It's just they're getting back in that race. If they lose, it's pretty much over. It's pretty much that's how the season's going to go. Now you're looking at a team that's going to have question marks going into the offseason. Are you going to rebuild? Are you going to restock guys? What are you going to do? You know, you got Trey Hendrickson to worry about with his contract. This is a 1-year deal that he's on. Things like that. Or if you're in win now mode, now you can focus on Joe Burrow returning. Joe Burrow potentially going into the playoffs. But Shemar Stewart, that's just not the news you want to hear as much as he has struggled this year. I'll go back to, again, I'm not trying to say this is a guy that has been lighting it up. The first few games, he looked to have some promise. He had some flashes. He was actually rated very highly, PFF grades. But as an overall season, he struggled. There's no getting around that. And again, going back to the plays where he would run one way and another, he's been manhandled by the Bears' right tackle, just completely pancaked him. And it's like, this is a guy that has the physical ability to prevent that type of thing from happening. But there you go. It happened to Shemar Stewart, a first-round talent. But that's his grades overall this year. It's just not what you need. You're not expecting him to go out there and light it up, but you need him to obviously do better than this. So I think ever since that injury with the ankle, that has really been a setback for him. It just remains to be seen if he can turn it back on, because if they're going to have any kind of hope getting back into this, let's say they win on Sunday. Again, I know that's a lot of what ifs because this defense is struggling. You're going into Pittsburgh. You're not at home now. But let's just say they do win that game. If they do, and Shemar Stewart can come back and pick up the slack, especially if Hendrickson is starting to come back from that hip injury, maybe your defense starts to come alive a little bit. I always go back to, if you do not have a pass rush, I don't care how good your secondary is, your defense is going to get lit up. If you give the quarterback time to throw the ball, they're going to pick you apart all day long. It starts with the trenches up front. Shemar Stewart, even though he's a rookie, he's going to be leaned upon when healthy. So it remains to be seen. Keep an eye out for these injury reports. Again, those are some of the big names going into Sunday. This is going to be a big determining game, kind of the outcome for the rest of the season. It really is with their record where they're sitting now. If they win in Pittsburgh, that little glimmer of hope of getting back into that playoff race is there. But stay tuned. A lot of questions going into Sunday. We want to hear from you guys. What do you think is going to be the result on Sunday against the Steelers? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so be sure you leave us a comment down below. And also be sure you're subscribed by hitting that subscribe button so you'll know when our new videos drop. That's going to do it for now, guys. As we say, good day.